What is up, guys? My name's Nick.
And my name's Kevin.
And today we are lucky enough to be bringing you a preview of one of the new Mr. Pandaria 5-man instances called the Storm Stout Brewery. So what we're going to be looking at here is my point of view of the instance, with my rogue hat on and what I think about it all. And Kevin, you were healing this on your Holy Pally ult. How did you find it all, even with, like, I think you only have Firelands gear on?
Yeah, it was pretty easy. There was a few things you had to look out for, but other than that, it can be an instance quite easily farmed and quick enough to do.
Cool. Yeah, I tend to agree. The whole TLDR of the instance is that you're crashing the party, and this was all happening at this brewery, and it comes across quite nicely throughout the instance, and it ends up being quite a quick instance.
Yeah. So when we first start pulling the trash, you get a bar appears just below or just above your action bars. It slowly fills up by killing trash throughout the instance for the first boss, be it hostile or neutral mobs. They all count towards bringing out the boss.
Yeah. So along with that, you get a chance to use these barrels that are all rolling around the room. You can right-click on them, and you can run them into mobs or the boss. Actually, you can run them into the boss as well. They don't seem to crash into friendly players. They just only count on any kind of mobs, and they do around 10k damage or so. It's quite a nice little gimmicky thing. So after you've killed all the trash that you need to kill, the boss pops out in his room, and it seems to be just the tanking spank. Like there was these emotes that he was doing, which like he goes bananas or something. I didn't quite understand what the whole deal with it was. I just had my DPS hat on and was going nuts at the back of it.
Well, from my point of view as healing, there really wasn't a lot to look at, really. The boss was just, like you said, tank and spank. The only thing I had to worry about was he did an AoE shockwave, pretty much like Blackhorn in Dragon Soul. So you just had to dodge that while dodging the barrels as well, sort of like Donkey Kong style.
Wait, so you had to dodge the barrels?
Yeah, the barrels, they exploded on you and did damage. They did about 10k during the boss fight.
Oh, okay, maybe it was just during the boss. I didn't seem to manage to get one to run into me. Even with me, like purposefully almost moving into them, I couldn't seem to get them to do damage to me. But yeah, it just seems that really tank and spank. You can see we're crashing them into the back of him, and he ends up doing this shockwave. I don't think any of it was attached to each other. It just seemed to be that he did damage on that shockwave, but you could use the barrels to also help your DPS if they were rolling around.
Yeah.
Wait, okay, I see. Yeah, you just got knocked up then. So was that the stun from him, or was it a barrel?
I think that was the barrel crashing into me, getting knocked up.
Okay. Yeah, that would make sense then, that they become more of an obstacle during the boss fight or anything like that.
So
Holy Pally bubble.
I bubbled because I was a bit scared, honestly. It caught me off guard, really, the damage from a shockwave and then a barrel. So it looks maybe a tricky fight for Heroic.
That's a good point.
Still not difficult.
Normal,
yeah, this is normal, but I mean, it still posed a bit of a threat if you kind of switched off.
Yeah. So after you kill the boss, these two bouncers float into the middle of the room and kill themselves. I'm not really sure what happens there. I didn't really. So okay.
Yep, they just maybe just too drunk, perhaps. Just,
oh yeah, okay.
Just decided to pass out.
Gotta remember this is a party. So on the way to the next boss is kind of a bit of a gauntlet, and there's 3 different mobs. There's one that's just a critter that has loads of like HP. There's one that carries a hammer that can be right-clicked and picked up, and there's one that carries like a barrel of TNT. You see here that Kevin actually picked up the first hammer and then did nothing with it. We tried this gauntlet once before, and the idea was that we were going to try and get hold of as many hammers as possible from the mob that drops them, so that we can just run through the rest of the gauntlet all with hammers on and all spamming away the mobs, because the hammers, you'll see later on in a few minutes, that when you right click and pick them up after they've dropped on the ground, they have that ultraction, like
extra action bar thing.
Yeah, extra action special button 1 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you have so many charges that you can use up, and use up a charge. You just see the animation there, the green like swing thing.
You see me completely wasting it just there. You get 3 charges. I spammed it 3 times to see what it done, and then that was it really.
Kind of wasted, but we just like I think we at this point gave up on everybody trying to get hammers. We were just running through the best we could, and it doesn't end up going too well.
No.
As you'll see in a few minutes' time, as these TNT guys seem to really hurt. But the damage was like 30k a hit, and as well as that stun.
The TNT really hurt. So I think personally we rushed the gauntlet too fast.
But you can see with us doing the rushing and everybody spamming hammers in a really odd way, we actually end up getting an achievement, and I later on look at the achievement and it turns out that you have to hit a mob so high to hit this NPC that's on the roof or something. I didn't quite understand it. So yeah, when you almost complete the gauntlet, you get to this end and there's a carrot block in the way and stuff, and the boss comes out of his little barrel. But we end up wiping here just to having too many mobs and it just being too overrun. So we run back in, we get to the boss again, and the gauntlet's completely done. You only have to pull the boss to finish the gauntlet, so that might be some kind of idea of someone suiciding through if it ends up being too hard and heroic. Not that it'll be intended to be like that. But yeah, the boss was pretty easy from my point of view. There was a whirlwind that you had to be aware of, and then you started spawning ads, and then there was also the what was it, lurker below?
Yeah, there's a I can't remember. It's called carrot something.
Carrot breath. Yeah.
Carrot breath, and it's basically the lurker below spout. You just have to dodge it, really. Just run around in a circle, dodging it. You got to be really careful though, because during the whirlwind, it kind of knocks you up and back, and there wasn't invisible walls on this instance, so hilarity ensued. You can actually get knocked off the instance, and then yeah, you can't you can't run back in.
Yeah. So throughout the fight, there's these ads spawning, and the ads similar to what was in the gauntlet just before. They're the mobs with the barrel of TNT, the mobs with the hammers, and then there's also the little critters that seem to do nothing other than be really annoying. But it gives you a chance again to like use the mechanic again of the hammers. And I think I managed to pick one up here, and you might see the attraction buff. I can't even remember it. I think there were so many of them flying around that I think I managed to pick one up. But you can see the explosions still going off, and it ends up being quite a lot of damage if you aren't managing the ads. So it's not something that you can just focus on the boss completely, and the ads don't seem to stop spawning. So yeah, we get through the boss. Again, there's nothing really much to him. Seems pretty nice on normal, but I don't know how it'll be on heroic. I think it'll be pretty scary if we wiped on the gauntlet on normal. I don't know. I hope that they don't change the gauntlet for heroic. That'd be quite deadly. So working our way to the last boss. There's only 3 bosses in this instance. You go into this kind of, well, you have to kill this air elemental first, and it introduces you to the next type of trash almost. This air elemental has 3 abilities. One is just a simple knockback that it does on a person. The other is it does a debuff on someone that they spout beer coming out of their ears or something. I'm not even sure what it's meant to be, but holy crap, it was annoying. You can see here that I'm being knocked back tons of times. And we actually lose one of our DPS off the edge again because there's no invisible walls. So
you can do some troll-tastic fun with that.
Yeah, well, let's hope that they put invisible walls in. This is, yeah, you guys have to remember that this is still testing and stuff, and a really early preview of the dungeon. So yeah, we open the next room of trash, and you get introduced to the next kind of mob that's in this type of trash. These other air elementals, and they spawn these bubble shields around them. It's the second time I've seen this sort of thing used. And I've only seen it used in Mist so far, really. There was the mobs in Sholomance that had the blood clots on them. You had to kill the blood clots to actually kill them. Whereas these beer elementals or air elementals or whatever, they seem to have these bubbles on them, and you need to damage them, or otherwise they take a lot less damage. I didn't really notice any damage flying about that I was taking. Did you notice anything?
No, the instance overall was really easy to heal. I did very little healing. Even with the violence gear, I could just kind of DPS myself, really. There wasn't a lot of random damage going around.
It might be one of those instances that we might see some really nice speedruns run through, because of the whole challenge modes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It could be really pretty cool to see who can get the fastest time, especially as it's such a short instance. It's only 3 bosses, and with the gauntlet it almost forces you to run fast on that other part as well. But yeah, you kill this room full of trash, and you go through into the next room, and there's just a few more packs of trash before the last boss. So we opted to pull back the trash a little bit into the other room, just to save us from being knocked off while our DPS is running back. And it worked out kind of well. He managed to get back quick enough. So you almost go outside of the room that you just cleared the trash in, and then you go back in on the top level, and you see the last boss, the big, air, water, beer, elemental kind of dude sitting in the middle of the room with loads of little neutral elementals flying about the place. So we pull the boss, not really knowing much that's going to happen, as our tank had only done the first two before. It seemed pretty easy. There was a few odd tactics. You get this debuff on you that allows you to jump extra high, and I don't even realise it till almost the end of the fight. Did you spot it at all? Did you spot anything that was different or anything like that?
Yeah, the debuff I noticed straight away, because I tend to fidget a lot and spam jump, and then suddenly I started jumping like 20 yards in the air. So this fight, pretty much, to sum up, is Willy Wonka's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, I kind of brought reminiscent memories of that back for me as well. That little air room where you were just flying about and jumping about all over the place. The tank, or the boss rather, did the debuffs that the trash did as well. So you see me getting knocked back pretty much every 3 seconds when knocked away, and it was pretty fun. There's also these waves that come across the room, one from like one side, you can see it come across now, and another from the other side. I didn't even realise until late that it's almost like hopscotch. You're meant to jump across one line and then jump across the other line so you don't get stunned. But it seemed that you hardly took any damage, and the stun was hardly anything anyway. But it seems like an easy fight. He did spawn the bubbles on him, the armor bubbles that you had to kill off. But I didn't end up focusing on them that much. We had an arcane mage that was spamming all of his new awesome arcane AoE on them, so they seemed to die quick enough. Overall, the fight seemed pretty easy, the instance seemed pretty easy. There really wasn't much.
There were some nice new elements introduced, like Miss Empodoria has been doing. It's a big theme across the beta. That they're introducing a lot of new fun mechanics, something to change the game. But overall, a nice easy instance, nice fast one. It looks like maybe a fun instance to do for the challenge modes. Let's see how fast we can clear this.
Yeah, but that's pretty much it, guys. We're gonna end up killing the boss now, and I'll leave the video playing. On the quick ending note, make sure you subscribe to the MMO Champion YouTube, which is just MMO Champion WoW. Make sure you check out the stream at twitch.tv/MMO Champion, MMO_champion, champion. And stay tuned for our next video preview of the other instance that we've been able to get into. Secret. Thanks very much, guys. Cheers.
Bye bye.